Shalom, family. It's good to see you all here. Well, it seems like every time we hear about these migrants, it always gets bumped up to a whole new level. Okay. And that's what it seems like every single time. This whole situation really, truly is one big mess. So, the recent story coming out of New York is some of these migrants in tent cities, these little tent shelters that they have, are getting cars. Now, these cars have no registration, no license. You know how you get the temporary license plate when you get a car? It didn't even have that. So there's no permanent license plate, no temporary one, no registration. And where they're like, okay, where the hell did they get these cars? Now, many of them don't even have driver's license, y'all, to boot. So they said these were pricey cars and they were next to a whole bunch of electric bikes. Okay, a whole bunch of electric bikes. So let's get into this story. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen because there is a video I want to show you. Okay, let's see here. Shalom to everybody in the chat.
This is unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. Unbelievable. The migrants now have cars here at Floyd Bennett's Field.
Unbelievable is right. A Democrat New York lawmaker sharing this video of cars actually belonging to New York migrants being towed from the tent shelter where they are staying. This video was also taken in the same area where migrants were seen going door to door asking residents for money. New York Assemblywoman Jamie Williams recorded that video, and she joins me now. Assemblywoman Williams, walk us through in a little bit more detail what you saw.
Good morning. So I got there. It was filled with 5 cars, 1 truck. And as soon as the Parks Police called the tow trucks, as soon as the tow trucks arrived on the scene, we saw the migrants running out of the tents, saying that it was the vehicles had belonged to them. Actually, one of the migrants had a title in his hand. That was just really concerning. Where did they get these vehicles from? And it seems like they're having more resources than the average American. So, you know, we deserve answers. Our taxpayers deserve answers. It's not right.
That is the $64,000 question. Have you gotten any answers as to where these migrants got these vehicles in the first place?
We have not gotten any responses from anyone whatsoever. And this morning we'll be working on that. But as of right now, nothing. And as you can see, no registration, no license plate, no inspection, 5 cars, 1 truck.
Wow. Through 2023, New York City has reported spending nearly $2.6 billion on the migrant crisis. Mayor Eric Adams expecting the city to spend over $12 billion on the migrant crisis by the summer of 2025. That's next summer. What do you say to constituents who are working 2 to 3 jobs just to survive in and around this area and paying taxes so that that can happen in their neighborhood? That's not right.
It's 100% not right. It's an abuse of taxpayers' dollars. Every American, tax-paying American, need to know what's going on. There needs to be more transparency. And let's take it a little bit further with the Biden administration, who have turned a blind eye to this national crisis. We have lawlessness happening in New York City, and specifically in my district, in the southeast side of Brooklyn. So now myself and our residents have become benefactors of the lawlessness of these migrants.
You're a Democrat. It seems like this issue is becoming more and more bipartisan, with the exception, like you mentioned, of the Biden administration. Are there enough of you out there, especially in a blue state like this, to actually exact some change, to do something about this horrific situation? Not just the situation you saw. I'm talking about the migrant crisis in general.
I don't think there's enough of us here, and I don't think people should be looking at what party name is behind the person's name. For me, and specifically, myself and Councilwoman Joanne Ariola has taken this bipartisan fight, and we have made it ours because it affects everyone in our district. And I don't know why people are afraid to step up to the plate, but we need to do this sooner than later. We owe it to each and every tax-paying American.
Perfectly said. This isn't a Republican issue versus Democrat issue. This is an American issue. Thank you, Assemblywoman Jamie Williams, for shedding some light on this. We appreciate your time. Keep up the fight.
Y'all see this? I mean, this is absolutely crazy. So, it's a good thing they did tow these vehicles. I agree. They had no tag, they had no registration, they were not inspected. But still, where did they go to get these vehicles? And as you can see, they were Toyotas, and there was an SUV. There were like 5 cars. And they said over there also are a bunch of electric bikes over there too. And this tent city that they're staying is the same neighborhood. They went door to door begging for money, food, and clothing. It's the same neighborhood. I mean, look at what is going on here. That is absolutely crazy. So I don't know how the city found out. Somebody must have tipped them off. Somebody must have, seen it and reported it in order for them to, send tow trucks over there to get those vehicles. Yeah. So, y'all, this is, let me go back to that, because, there is other stories on this as well. And they said this, y'all, I don't believe are the only vehicles. I really don't. I would not be surprised if there are other locations and they got these vehicles as well. They got vehicles in other locations. I find it hard to believe that this is the only place they got vehicles. I bet you there's more. Some of these migrants might have had sense enough not to park their vehicles around that tent city, maybe park it a few blocks away, But let's get into this. This is absolutely insane. So the migrants' pricey cars towed outside of controversial New York City shelter in same area where they begged door to door. So these migrants appeared to have better rides than some Brooklyn families They've been hitting up for cash food and clothes. Authorities on Friday, this was this past Friday, y'all, told Shalom, family. I got kicked off of my own live stream. Woo! Somebody didn't want me talking about this, huh? Wow. I got kicked off of my own live stream. Oh, man. Well, I don't know what part I got up to. I don't know what part I got up to. So anyway, y'all, the bottom line is they towed these vehicles away, and they're doing an investigation on how these migrants that are staying at a tent shelter were able to obtain, vehicles that were pretty pricey. Mm-mm-mm. So I would love to see, what they conclude in their investigation, because they're like, wait a minute, where did they get the money to even get these cars? And you're staying at a shelter, Yeah, which is, it's not cheap to be in New York City on top of that. Mm-mm-mm. Y'all, this is a trip. What's going on? It seems like, it seems like, they're opening up. Well, yeah, I mean, it could be stolen. I mean, that's true. We don't know how they obtained these vehicles, but we know more than one of them had it, because they said there were 5 cars. And I think it was, according to the story, 2 SUVs. And yeah, I mean, it is crazy what's going on with these migrants. It is seriously crazy. And it makes you wonder, did they get this money from doing something illegal? We don't know. But no, I absolutely believe the drug cartel has come into the country. Like I said, I saw a video maybe now 2 weeks ago, and this man had a camera. He lives up in the mountains in Arizona, and he filmed them. He said the drug cartels are all over the mountains here in Arizona now. And he said, and they came over with all of these migrants. So I'm not surprised. It is all kinds of crimes they're committing and illegal activity. So they're pretty much doing the same thing here that they would do back in their homeland. So, y'all, this is crazy. And I will definitely keep up. But it just goes to show you, Biden, he's created a monster. And y'all, they are still pouring in at the borders. If you can pull the stories up every day, there are like 10,000, 12,000. And they were saying December was the biggest record breaking month of the year, of how many came in here just in the month of December alone. And they said they done got so smart. They know when the border guards are changing shift. So what they do is they'll wait, and then when they're in the process of changing shifts, they all show up at the border. That's what they do. They now know, the best time to even go to the border. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, yeah. I mean, oh, absolutely. Yeah, a lot of the good news is actually coming online. It's not coming from mainstream media at all. A lot of it is a lot of videos on TikTok here Instagram. Yeah. I mean, that's where I'm getting my biggest info. Some of this stuff you don't even hear at all. I mean, some of the stories I've done on New York, I've even had some of the New Yorkers reach out and say, I'm in New York and I haven't even heard this. That happened on my video when I told y'all they were going door to door. I had New Yorkers tell me I'm right here in New York and I didn't hear about this. So, I mean, it's pretty amazing. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's what they're saying. That's what this woman was saying, this assembly woman. She was like, there's a lot of Americans that can't even afford the cars they had. And they're staying at a shelter with a car that is not cheap to get. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, yeah. I've been reading about some of the other cities because more and more places are complaining about the number of migrants that are coming in to these cities. It's a lot more cities getting hit, y'all. It's just that they're only talking about New York and Chicago, but it's way more than that. Well, I sure hope you got to see the whole video before I got cut off. I hope you at least got to see the entire video that I showed. Mhm. Yeah. So y'all, that's all I wanted to present to you. And you know, this is already turning out to be a very interesting year. We're still in the very beginning of it. And with all the stuff that has happened, it is just unbelievable. Mm-mm-mm. Well, Joe Biden, I don't expect him to do anything. Now, he might attempt to do something when it gets close to election time because, I mean, although they want to open the floodgates, they also know a lot of people are upset about this too. They know. Trust me, they're watching and listening to us too. So they know a lot of people are not happy with what is going on. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you so much for being here. Please like the video, share the video, and I'll be coming back with more topics tomorrow. Shalom, family.